On this installment of the Channeling Project, The Age of Aquarius, Part 1. Welcome. We are here. You may begin.
Thank you. Thank you for being here today. What can we expect with the dawning of the Age of Aquarius?
This is a time long awaited and a time that has been spoken of in many different forms across what you would call human history. It is fundamentally a time of choosing how you will experience the transition, for indeed the transition will take place as it is part of the planetary evolution. And as you are a part of this planetary infrastructure, you are then also involved in this cycle of transformation. Understand that much of what is to come, and whether or not you will continue to be a part of it, has a lot to do with where you are in your consciousness. Where are you in your own individual and spiritual collective development? Humans are not native to this planet. You were seeded here from other star systems, and therefore this planet can survive without your presence here. We would remind you of the story of the Garden of Eden. All was created. Humanity was added as an afterthought. There is much truth in this biblical accounting of creation. The planet volunteered to be the proving ground for what could be called an experimental process, whereby a higher level of consciousness, one with self-awareness, was given the opportunity to learn and grow and mold itself according to its own series of choices, as opposed to the natural evolution that occurs with most other species available that live and call this planet home. Most of the time, the product is created through successive evolutions of a species over time. The evolvement occurs. In the case of humanity, it was literally what you would call a direct seeding. It is not accidental that you seemingly sprang forth out of nothingness and then found yourself distributed across far-flung aspects, far-flung places on your planet. We still watch with interest how exactly this will unfold, and always stay mindful that the planet herself will not perish as a result of this experiment. That was part of the original agreement. She will continue. You will likely be required to change your ways, open your consciousness, and shift your perception, your perspective, as to who and what you are in relationship to this planet, if you wish to make it to the other side of this transition. If you are indeed able to do that, however, the potential is endless and the possibilities are beyond counting. What you could do with a newfound awareness of your place in this process, as well as your responsibility as a shepherd of the natural resources available to you. Use your intelligence, your innate intelligence, your creativity for something other than personal gain or power over another. Shifting that mindset is what will be important to the success of this transition you are now in. For indeed, this time period right now is literally a time of transition between one world and the next. You as a collective stand in that gap between what was and what is to be. You will determine the outcome. You will define what the Age of Aquarius will be. That is what we have to say.
Thank you. How would the energy signature of the Age of Aquarius be defined? And what traits will we see manifest in the world and in ourselves?
Compassion, cooperation, community, collective understanding. All of these things are hallmarks or benchmarks of what you are calling the Aquarian Age. It is a shift in perspective from me first to how can I contribute to the benefit of all. It is time for what you have been shouting about for years. It is time for equality. It is also time for equity. You have collectively created, for the most part, a cold and cruel world that does not allow for the expression of gentleness or caring for the other for the most part. And yet, during times of trouble, these qualities that we spoke of, the compassion, the ability to reach out and help another, the caring for another's well-being, these rise up in you. And so we know you have within you the capability to be far more than how you are currently collectively expressing yourselves. We watch as these events that you call devastating are triggering those responses within you. Yes, we also note there is a heightened expression of anger and confusion, but yet overall there is also an upwelling of the energy of wishing to assist the other, to help one who is suffering. Those are the things that are meant to be fostered or stimulated during this time. And that is one of the positive outcomes of your recent series of what you call major disasters. So it is not all a bad thing, but it is sad that it takes such events to stimulate your most natural capacities that lie within you, and yet, for the most part, are dormant. It is tragic that such events are needed to awaken that within you, and then the hope is that these tendencies will be sustained once stimulated, and thus will allow you to be a new person moving forward in the world on a day-to-day basis. So we would say that all of those feelings that rise up in you when you witness tragedy of another, these are the things that are hallmarks of someone who is living the Aquarian lifestyle, so to speak. It is compassion, cooperation, community, what is good for the collective. All of these are the hallmarks of what you are calling the Aquarian age.
Do you feel humanity will achieve equality and a higher level of consciousness in the Age of Aquarius?
We do feel that whatever portion of the population is on this planet at the turning of the age, you will have taken great strides towards that goal, that objective. It is apparent to us at this time that there is much to be done, much to be experienced between now and then in order for that to happen. But we do feel you will be successful.
Thank you. Will advances in the field of technology and artificial intelligence communication change the way people work and communicate in this new age? Can you please explain?
One of your greatest challenges is going to be how quickly you can adapt to the judicious application of all of what you are calling AI and technology. For those advancements are in many ways outstripping your capacity to properly manage them. And so we would say, in many ways, it is like the opening of Pandora's box. There are things that are currently loose in the world that are like a double-edged sword that cuts both ways. They are both a benefit as well as a negative. And the wielder of the sword is the one who determines which way the blade will cut. So we say to you, use your own individual discernment, both when you choose to apply the technology in your own life as well as how you are going to interact with it. And know always that the senses that you were given at birth are your best defense against any sort of less than positive expressions of this technology. Yes, we know that you are at some level gods, but understand you are godlike, and therefore that which you create may not always result in the desired outcome. You are still learning as creators, and the lessons will be valuable to you in the future. But we would simply say, always stay mindful and Do not become overly enamored of any of these new ways of doing things that may come your way. Some are meant to help, but do not allow them to replace your own human expression. For although, for example, artificial intelligence can create documents or products in an expedient way, that does not necessarily mean that it will contain the seed of human consciousness within it that is aligned with your individual expression. So just remain mindful of that as you move forward on this journey with your technology and your artificial intelligence.
How can we ensure that advancements in technology best serve the welfare of humanity?
That would require you taking an Aquarian Age approach to it. So that would mean providing equal access in an equitable way, and the intention behind the creation of many of these technologies will have a lot to do with how they affect the collective. If, for example, it is strictly for monetary gain or control or power over another, this can be a complicating factor in how that particular tool will be used moving forward. But we are not saying that one who invents something should not be properly compensated for it. However, you as the consumer would be well served to feel into whether this interaction or another is appropriate for you on your journey, and do not judge others who choose to make full use of any such technology. It is meant to serve you, to help you as you create and learn and grow. The challenge will be if and when you create something that outstrips your ability to manage it properly.
Thank you.